Hey guys, this is Lisa Tedder with Tedder Bear Stamping, and I'm going to show you how to make this beach scene today. Let me take it out of the wrapper so that you can see it without the glare. Isn't that pretty? And it's got some dimension, and I wanted to show you how to do it. It's super simple, and I'm using things a little bit unconventionally, and I wanted to share that with you. So first off, I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White that is 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to line it up here on my grid sheet and bring in some of my tape that I bought online, and I'm going to make a horizon line. And I just want to make sure that these are even because that's important. And I'm going to come down about not quite halfway. I'm going to have the horizon line right here. So I'm going to come in with, whoops, let's go the other way. I like to start with the water first because that just makes it easier for me. Well, I need to turn that off. Let's see. Let's try this again. There we go. Your water does need to be up a little bit so that you don't have the, you'll see it through the fence. And I'm turning my sounds off right now, so hold on one second. Okay, so I'm going to come in with my Pacific Point, and I'm going to just sponge this across. You just want to make sure that when you get your sponge, you take a little bit off, because see how it leaves these two, like I just pushed that on there, and you have these two big things. Push very lightly with your sponge at first so that you have not big spots like I showed you. And then once you have most of the ink off, you can start pressing a little bit harder. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off a little bit and barely touch again. Getting harder as I go. Okay, I'm going to leave that like that, and I'm going to close this up, and then I'm going to come in and turn this around. Let's see if it might be easier just to pick this up. And see if I can get it to stick at the water line again. Because now I'm going to make some clouds, and I have a little tip for you. I went ahead and made my own cloud pattern out of window sheet. It's hard to see. Let's see if I can put something below it so you can see. Not sure you can see that either. Okay, wait, there. I just did some half like circles with my scissors. So I'm going to lay this down, and I put a little handle on this. I'm going to lay this down and come in with some Pool Party and just very lightly on the outside of the thing I made. Well, that doesn't look good. Let's didn't realize I had it like that. Okay, we're going to make this better. Alright, so then you just keep making cloud patterns around it. And I want to get rid of that spot that I made where it's not rounded. So I'm going to come in like that. There, that's better. Just make sure that you don't go where it's flat, because then that won't look natural. Looks very cloudy, doesn't it? Let's come in with going at an angle this way just to give it some breakup. Okay, So there is my clouds. I'm going to come in and stamp my birds from high tide real quick. And before I start putting other layers on, just so I can have that behind me. And this just gives the card dimension. All right. Now I'm going to take this up. And now you can see the horizon line for the water. And I'm going to stamp on a piece of paper from Swirly Bird. I'm going to stamp the bottom of the boat with, let's see, I had all my inks right here. Soft suede. Okay, I'm looking on my thing because last time I missed it. Alright, so I'm going to stamp the bottom of my boat from the Swirly Bird, and I'm going to stamp that there. Then I'm going to stamp with Pacific Point because I want the colors to match. I'm going to stamp the sailboat part. Whoop. And then the other part of the sail, and I'm going to stamp off twice with this because I want it to be very light blue. So I'm going to stamp off that twice and then stamp it on there. Then you're going to come and cut those out by hand. These do not have a die cut, and I already have that done. So let's bring those in. So I have these, and then I'm going to build my boat. And I want it to be a little higher than I did the last time. So I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of this. And I want it in the middle too. Last time I had it to the side too much, and I think it would look better in the middle. So I'm just going to put the bottom down right here. And then these I'm going to lay down beside it because I need to move them in just a second. Alright, so this is where I want it to be. I want to make sure they're in the right spot. And then I'm going to come in with the flag and do that with Pacific Point. And these are all out of Swirly Bird. And I'm going to put it right here next to the bird. And then I'm going to bring in a ruler and a fine tip black marker and just draw a line from that down to the boat. So it looks like a sailboat. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. Okay, so there's my boat. Now I'm going to come in with my sand, and I just have a piece of crumb cake that is 2.5 inches, and I won't be using this whole thing, but by 5. And I just want to tear towards me and make like a wavy tear. So this is going to be one part of my sand, and then I'm going to bring it in on this side and do the same thing, tear towards me, and just try to get more sand like that. I'm going to sponge the edges with the crumb cake just to make it look a little bit darker. And then while I have the crumb cake out, I'm going to lay these out, and I'm going to come in with the stamp set from the brand new one called Aritisan Textures, and I'm going to use this one right here, and I'm going to just do the part that has, oops, more of the dots to make it look like sand. So I'm just going to stamp that. And then I'm going to go over it with the crumb cake just to make it look a little bit more muted. So then I'm going to be layering these, but first I wanted to come in with my chairs from Colorful Seasons, and I'm not going to use the entire chair because I want it to look like a fence. So let me move these so you can see. All right, so I'm going to cut off the arm on both sides. All right, and then I want to make it straight across. And then we want to have some be taller than the others. So we will cut this one down and this a little bit, this one down. We just want it to look ragged. So it kind of looks like, let's see if you can see right there. It just looks like a ragged fence. Then this one I'm going to do the same thing with, but I'm even going to do more because I want it to look like just part of it's broken off. So I'm going to take off some of this and then not have it break quite so much. Okay, so that one is like that. All right, and then I'm going to layer these with dimensionals and then put some of the grass that I have behind. And this is what's going to make the chairs hold on, because we want to be able to see the ocean behind the chairs. Which one looks better? All right, so it's going to go like this just to have some waves. So I don't want it to be, I want these to be able to stand. So let's move this one down. Whoop. Make this more towards the bottom. That way they'll not be too close together. Okay. So this one's going to go on first. Let me get this off. There we go. This one's going to go first. And then this one, we're going to put the chairs behind it and in between. There's some new dies coming out. I don't remember the name, but I'm looking forward to those because I want it to be where they look more like, well, these aren't, this isn't how I want it. This is the way I wanted it. So sorry. There we go. And then this is, I know the boat's getting covered up, but that's okay. So I'm going to have that go in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of it. Just to stick up. And I have to have the bottoms of the hidden where the holes are here, so that's why they're going in between. Okay, and I want it to look real rickety. Okay, so you can still see the ocean through the slats, and then I want to add some grass. And now what I did was I went and I got into the new ocean one, and this is what it looks like originally. And then I cut it up so that it wouldn't have all those branches there, and it looked more like grass, because I wanted to be able to use things that aren't quite what they seem. And here they are. Okay, hold on one second. All right, so this is what it looks like with the grass, and I just want to tuck that down so that it's just tall grass in there. And then I'm not going to use this one, and then use a couple of these from the that's still available, but the Picnic with You. I was a little upset that it got discontinued, but I'm keeping it because I really like it. So I'm just adding a couple of the leaves here just to make it look like it's on a beach. Okay, so then I'm going to back that onto a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 piece of cardstock. And of course, I would make sure I did a glue dot to hold that in place. Now I turn this over after I've stuck this stuff down. Okay, now that's good, and that's going to go right onto here. And then it's going to go, let me move this so you can see better. Then it's going to go on a piece of Whisper White that's 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then there you have your beach scene. I really want to add glitter to it because I love having glitter, but I didn't know where to put it. So if you have any ideas for that, just let me know. This is a very easy card. It just takes some thinking ahead and to cut some of the stuff ahead of time. So I hope you liked it, and I'll see you next week.